everyone, welcome back to my channel. I absolutely love watching videos of someone's best friend or someone's boyfriend or girlfriend picking out their reads. I think it's so interesting, to see the type of books that someone who's not necessarily within the book community would choose when they go to a bookstore, but also to see the dynamic of that person's relationship with the people closest in their lives, see how well they know each other based off of if they like the book or not. Unfortunately, I have no prospects and I don't ever really see myself getting into another relationship. So the closest thing I have for this is having my best friends pick out my reads. My best friends, number one, Stella. Y'all know her, y'all love her. She is literally the light of my life and the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love her so much. Everyone says that about their dogs, but my dog is definitely the best dog to ever exist. Second, Olivia. She is also my dog, but she chooses favoritism and she loves my parents more than she loves me. So she lives back home because my parents' house is her home. She loves it. So those are my two best friends. And then after the two doggos is my sister and her fiance. Y'all already know, but I am a huge introvert. And besides for that, I am someone who I really value my family and I spend a lot of time with my family. So if my mom is watching this, you were right when Sarah and I used to pick fights and you were like, you guys are going to be best friends when you're in your 20s. You were right, it's fine. I brought this video up to them, I want to say like back in May, and I've been pushing it off because I wanted to wait for the right time, and I think now is the right time. They're getting married in less than a month. I'm really excited yet also nervous to see what books they pick out for me. We are gonna go get some coffee and then we're gonna go to Barnes. It's actually a rainy day, so I'm very excited for this. Pause. Before I even get into this, we need to introduce you to Sarah and Gus. So if you've already watched my channel, you've probably seen them in a video before, but this is my older sister, Sarah. We had to share a room for the first 17 years of my life, and this is her fiance, Gus. He is my biggest hater in life for real, and also has a huge obsession with Pokemon.
It's Pikachu.
And that's them. On to the video. Do you know what you're getting?
Kind of. Oh my gosh, I love these candles.
She's distracted. While they're choosing books, I'm gonna go look.
I need to, oh my god, my hair. I need to look for probably like a teen romance book, because my book is a guilty pleasure book of mine that I read when I was like in high school. So
Did you tell me what book you're doing?
yeah, I got it. Yeah, I definitely read it very legally, by the way. I swear to god my mom had that book. It's like a library. I have to shit.
Yes. You told me not to do this, so I can't do this, but I would have got you a cookbook. That would have been my first choice.
This was my guilty pleasure book. I read this shit when I was like 16 or something on my phone late at night using a very suspicious app. I definitely downloaded so many viruses on that phone.
Okay, we are back from Barnes, and then we also did some shopping. Each person picked out one book and then they together picked out one book. I don't know if that's how it went.
This was my pick. This is one of my actual favorite movies. And I don't think you even know that this is one of my favorite movies. And there's this one song out of the movie that I love so much. And I'm going to walk down the aisle to it. It was technically in fiction, but it's kind of romance.
Is it the one with Miley Cyrus? The one with Sam McLaughlin and...
I don't even know who that is, so.
Child Moaz.
Well, girl, yeah.
Oh! Wait, I love this movie. Do you
I'm
want
gonna
to
read that one. Rich people.
I put Gus on my deaf ear side because I'm tired of listening to him talk shit.
So the book that I chose is actually a book that I read when I was like 15 or 16. Yeah, she knows what it is. Here you go, Chelsea.
Well, he was talking about, is it Aragon is the thing with the dragons, but you were just talking about romance. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I have zero clue. Whoa. Pause. No, I remember you talking about this.
Last book, our double book. We didn't really have a plan going into it. Me and Sarah were talking about it at the store. We just kind of turned around and saw a title of a book that we felt fits you very well. It could be trash.
I just hope you find love one day.
Oh, this is really pretty. Wait, these are actually kind of good book picks. Oh my god, my hair is insane. So it is right now Sunday night. I've been so busy all day today. I've been editing a video. I'm right now actually uploading it. And then I've been cleaning, but I'm officially kind of like wiped for the day. I just want to lay down, watch some YouTube. Stella is asleep on the couch right now. And so we are officially going to be starting the first book for this video. We're gonna start with Gus's pick. I thought there was something in the book. Anyways, we're gonna start with Gus's pick. So this is My Life Next Door. He already kind of explained why he chose this book, but I'm very interested to see what this book is about. I know jack shit about it. I know absolutely nothing about this story, except that it is a YA, or I don't think it's middle grade. I think it's YA. It's a little cutesy romance. I'm gonna start reading this tonight, and then I'll bring it to work tomorrow and probably read a bit while I'm there. Let's start this and officially start this video.
But I'm so frustrated. Hello to
If I look a mess right now, I did in fact just get back from the dog park with Stella, so I'm a little bit of a mess. I finished My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick today at work, and I have my final thoughts. I ended up writing a lot of my opinions about this book on my notes app just because I obviously couldn't film my reaction while I was at work. So this was Gus's pick, and he had chose this book because he read this when he was younger. We had actually talked about this in the past. He read this book when he was 16, right when the book came out. I think we're on like a car ride to the gym one day, and we were talking about books that we had read when we were younger, and he had brought up this book. Now that I've read the book, I do remember that conversation, but I literally at work today was texting him because I was not expecting what this book was about. Diving into what the book is about. It is a 2010s contemporary YA romance, so imagine how the writing is for that. Our main character is a Republican senator's daughter. I believe they live in New Hampshire, but it kind of just gives off the sort of like New Hampshire. Gus thought it took place in North Carolina. I could see this book also taking place in North Carolina. That sort of like coastline 2010s vibes. I went into this book knowing that I would probably not really love the writing. I might like the storyline, but I didn't know what it was, and I also did not read the back to try and figure it out before I read it. This family, they're very picturesque, picture perfect, type A, everything has to look a certain way. Their next door neighbors are basically the exact opposite of that. Our main character's family is just her sister, and their mom. The other family is these two parents, and I think they have like 8 kids or something. Think of 2000s growing up, middle class, you have toys all over your lawn, the kids are playing out in the front yard. Like imagine that sort of just like rowdy but full of love family. A romance ends up sparking between the daughter and the son in the other family, and it's kind of this forbidden romance. So I didn't know where it was gonna go from there, but there's a really big storyline that happens in this book that I just was not expecting. It was really insane. I can't spoil it. Granted, this book did come out in 2012. The storyline that happens in this book is genuinely insane. Yes, this is a YA book, and again, like I said, it was written in 2012. I wasn't expecting a work of art for literature or anything along those lines, but I really felt like this writing felt extremely one-dimensional. This book did not age well. It feels like this era of reading. I also was trying to think of what I would have felt about the book if I read it when I was younger and not necessarily reading it when I'm 23. I gave it a 2-star. I wasn't expecting to give this a super high rating. The next book I'm going to be reading is going to be Crazy Rich Asians. I think I'm going to start that tonight. I'm going to go to the gym in a little bit and I'm hoping it's on audiobook. I need to do some chores, so I would really like to just listen to it on audiobook and do those chores. It is right now Tuesday night. It's literally 8 o'clock at night. I didn't read at all after work. I read a little bit at work today. I'm right now on page 111 of Crazy Rich Asians. But yeah, after I got off of work, I went to the gym and then I ended up taking a very, very long nap. I always lay down when I get home from work and then I end up passing out because I'm so exhausted. And unfortunately, that means I slept through my time that I would have allotted for reading. I'm probably not going to read anything tonight. I'm going to watch some YouTube and then hopefully I can read more at work tomorrow. But I am really enjoying this book so far. I didn't fully remember what the movie was about or remember kind of like the synopsis of what the book was going to be about, but Crazy Rich Asians is about many, many different rich families. Our main character, Nick, and his girlfriend, he is bringing her back home to where his family is from to go to, I think it's his best friend's wedding. I haven't gotten too far into that. There is a lot, like every other chapter is a different POV, so there are a lot of POVs you're following in this book. You're following Nick, you're following Rachel, which is the girlfriend, and then you're following one of the cousins. I think it's Nick's mom, and I think there's another POV that is in this book. But the writing of this is amazing. I'm not going to lie. I think I want to continue with the series, but we'll see how I feel about it when I do finish the book. Now that I have read a bit more of this, I'm starting to remember the movie a little bit more, and I really want to watch this movie this week. So I think later in this vlog, we're gonna watch the movie so that I can compare and contrast the book details to the movie. Hi everyone. So dark out right now. Also, all you can see was the glare in my glasses. I just got back from work and last night I did end up finishing Crazy Rich Asians. I'm kind of surprised. Might have already talked about this in the last couple of clips. Honestly, I don't remember what I filmed for this video so far. I think it's funny because when Sarah and Gus were picking out all of the books for this video, they kind of had a theme of picking out romance books, but this is genuinely just fiction, drama-filled book. There is a bit of a romance in it, but it's not even a romance story. It's just there's a couple as like one of the main characters you're following. That being said, I gave this a 4-star. I really did enjoy it, and I think I'm gonna buy the second book, and depending on how I feel about that, I might just continue with the series and finish it's a trilogy, I believe. So the next book is China Rich Girlfriend, and then after that it's Rich People Problems. But yeah, I stayed up really late last night and I finished it. I thought it was great. My sister really wants to read this after me, so I'm gonna give this to her, and then maybe even my mom would like to read this. I think she would enjoy the book. Today while I was at work, I started the last book for this video, and that is How to Find Love in a Bookshop. So this is the book that they picked out together, and they picked this out just kind of based off of the title. You saw the clip. They want me to find love, whatever. They picked out this book because of the name and they just thought it was fitting for me. But I think they went into this thinking that this was a romance book, and I went into this thinking it was a romance book, partly because there's like a second cover for this book. It's the cover that shows up on Goodreads. It's the cover that shows up on Spotify when you look at the audiobook, and it makes it look like it's going to be a romance. But I'm on chapter 7, page 109. So far, this is more so reading like a literary fiction. It is a story about, honestly, it's following a lot of different POVs, but you follow the storyline of the dad and the daughter and how the bookstore became to be, and then the daughter is trying to keep the bookstore alive in his honor. And then there's also, I think so far, 2 other storylines of like love that's gonna happen within the bookstore. I don't really have anything to say about this book so far, or like many thoughts. I'm not gonna lie, as I was reading it today, I was kind of like in my head, in my own world. I wasn't like mentally really there. So I think I'm gonna listen to some of the audiobooks so that I can try and like dive into this world. I always have this problem right after I finish a book. If I'm not continuing on with the series, it's really hard for me to jump into a different book's world. So yeah, I did tab some things and like dog ear some pages so far. I really think this cover is beautiful and it just feels so nice. That is this book so far. I think we'll read some more of it tonight. I'm going going to actually just chill out. I need to do some laundry before I go to the gym, and then I think today I'm gonna have to clean my apartment a bit. I'm gonna go and do some of my chores, and I will see you when I see you. I'm DNFing this book. I kind of wish that this book was really poorly written so that I had an actual reason of why I'm DNFing the book. But the reason I'm DNFing it is literally just because I don't want to read this right now. I'm 100% a mood reader. I knew this. And so going into videos, it always makes me really nervous to read books back to back that are for a specific purpose versus books that I just want to read and am in the mood to read. And I just really don't want to read this right now. I would consider this more of like a fiction book about the bookstore itself, and all of the characters are kind of secondary to that. I think I would have enjoyed this more if it was following our main character, Amelia, and the process of her taking over this bookstore after her father died, and maybe even if it had to be two POVs, if it was like the POV of her dad building up the bookstore, and then if it was the POV of her in the after events of her dad's death, revamping the bookstore, maybe falling in love. And I'm sure she probably does fall in love in this book. I stopped reading on chapter 10, page 159. It's about like halfway through the book, and I do have to say these chapters are really long. I was just kind of in that point where I was not picking up the book and I was kind of procrastinating reading, but I really want to read. I just don't want to read this. So I am DNFing the last book of this video. Sue me, I'm sorry. Overall, Sarah and Gus chose some pretty decent reads. I think this one I was a bit harsh when I was rating it because also I was directly comparing this book to The Summer I Turned Pretty. It is the closest thing that I've read that I could compare it to. I have my copy of The Summer I Turned Pretty actually right here. I read that book so long ago that I have this copy I never see people own. It's the 3 books all bound up. Going into this book, I definitely compared it to The Summer I Turned Pretty, and if I would recommend one of them, I would recommend that series. I'm definitely going to continue with Crazy Rich Asians. We actually watched the movie last night, and it was really interesting seeing the differences between the book and the movie. The movie, I feel like, ends and it worked as being just a standalone movie, but the book ends and I really want to know what's going to happen. I'm going to keep up with the series. I think it was really well written, and I'm excited to see what happens with this world and with these characters, and this I just don't care about. So that is all for today's video. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.